Rome at the crossroads. By 44 BCE, Julius Caesar had transformed from military hero to dictator perpetual, dictator for life. The Roman Republic, which had governed for 5 centuries, teetered on the edge of extinction. Caesar's unprecedented power threatened everything the old guard held sacred. The conspiracy forms. Marcus Brutus, Caesar's beloved protégé, wrestled with an impossible choice between loyalty and liberty. Cassius whispered poison in willing ears, "The fault is not in our stars, but in ourselves." Over 60 senators joined the plot, each bound by blood oaths and shared desperation. Omens of doom. Caesar's wife Calpurnia woke screaming from nightmares of her husband's death. Soothsayers warned, "Beware the Ides of March," but Caesar dismissed their prophecies as superstition. On March 15, sacrificial animals were found to have no hearts, an omen of ultimate doom. The fatal morning. Despite every warning, Caesar rose that morning determined to attend the Senate meeting. Calpurnia begged him to stay home, clinging to his toga as he prepared to leave. At the door, a slave handed him a scroll revealing the entire conspiracy, but Caesar never read it. Theater of Pompey. The Senate met not in their usual hall, but at Pompey's theater, ironically, beneath a statue of Caesar's former rival. As Caesar entered, the conspirators surrounded him under the pretense of presenting petitions. Julius Caesar grabbed Caesar's toga and pulled it from his shoulders, the signal to strike. Theater of Pompey. The Senate met not in their usual hall, but at Pompey's theater, ironically, beneath a statue of Caesar's former rival. As Caesar entered, the conspirators surrounded him under the pretense of presenting petitions. Julius Caesar grabbed Caesar's toga and pulled it from his shoulders, the signal to strike. 23 wounds. The first dagger struck Caesar in the neck. He fought back with his stylus like a wild animal. 23 wounds pierced his body as each senator took his turn in the ritual murder. When Caesar saw Brutus raise his blade, he spoke his final words, "Et Brute." Aftermath of betrayal. The conspirators expected Romans to celebrate their liberation. Instead, the people wept for their fallen leader. Mark Antony's funeral oration turned the mob against the liberators, who fled for their lives. Within 2 years, every major conspirator was dead, most by their own swords. Legacy written in blood. Caesar's assassination shattered the very republic the conspirators claimed to defend. In striking him down, Brutus, Cassius, and their allies believed they were excising a tyrant before monarchy could take root again in Roman soil. Yet they misunderstood both Caesar's power and the rot already eating away at the republic. The Senate had long been weakened by corruption, civil war, and personal ambition. Caesar was not the disease, but its most visible symptom. His murder removed the man, not the conditions that made his rise inevitable. From Caesar's death emerged something far greater, and far more enduring, than any single dictator. The chaos that followed the Ides of March plunged Rome back into civil war, exhausting the last remnants of republican resistance. Out of that bloodshed rose Octavian, later Augustus, who learned from his adoptive father's fate. Where Caesar ruled openly, Augustus cloaked absolute authority in tradition and ceremony. The Senate still met, elections were still held, and the republic survived in name, but real power rested in the hands of one man. Ironically, by killing Caesar to preserve liberty, the conspirators cleared the path for an empire more centralized and permanent than Caesar had ever achieved. The Ides of March thus became more than a date, it became a warning etched into history. It teaches that violence in the name of principle often accelerates the very outcome it seeks to prevent. It reminds rulers that threats most often come not from declared enemies, but from trusted allies who feel betrayed, sidelined, or morally justified. And it cautions revolutionaries that removing a leader without transforming the system merely invites another, often stronger, figure to take his place. In the end, Caesar's blood did not save the republic. It sealed its fate. The dagger strokes meant to restore freedom instead carved the foundation of imperial Rome, proving that history is often shaped less by intentions than by consequences.